think some men up there are starting off for work. The village is coming alive. So a lady from the far right shouts to the man across to the far left, and the morning begins in Lijiashan. So for the old woman you saw standing beneath and behind the old man up there, or the man that was yelling, she perhaps has some protection, but these folks don't appear to have any. Only their drudgery in the hope that they can somehow survive until they, in fact, can die. Here at 7:02, the men take off for work. They'll climb somewhere up into the hills, pick those fruit, nut-like things, and return at the end of the day. He's carrying water though right now. Slowly the fog starts to dissipate as the conversation continues. Work noises. The irony is I can hear a phone ringing, a regular phone. Carrying this water is no slouch of a task. He had to pause at the top of that stairs, no surprise. At 8 pounds plus per gallon, it might be a fair amount, but he's home. How peaceful this scene seems early in the morning. A person living in that little house to the right probably lives a better life than many others at his financial level in the big cities who have to tolerate the squalor and the noise. But I wonder if either appreciates their relative condition. I wonder what his task is for today that brings him all the way from the bottom to the top. As I come in from the chilly morning air, I notice that it's considerably warmer inside my room, which may be another benefit of the cave, although the only heat would, well, it'd be from the computer and from me. This is what I carry when I go away from a place for just a couple of... The lady of the house is going to let me video her in operation here. We'll see how a kitchen functions. See, here's our stove at work, and you've got a wok right here with the stove. Here's the oven in here. You can see how there's a fire there. This hole's bigger, so she's got better access. Various tools. This probably just a hot pad, or works like a hot pad. That may just be a killer pot for something. And here, of course, she has a modern wok. Makes things more controllable. Her cleavers, various spices. These big baskets put to use. And it's with this that her family lives and provides food for those of us who visit. Things like this would be beautiful. That's metal. So it must be a grill cover. Probably on something that uses charcoal. And this is her water source. Now where she gets it from, I don't know. So what I have for breakfast is a soup plus this, which is cold, and I'm putting it in here so that it will kill anything if possible. Plus it'll cool the soup down. Here's some local bread, which is a very soft bread without a crust, and this is an egg, so it's hard-boiled egg that was inside here. Something in my soup is quite spicy, not terribly spicy, but quite spicy. I'm not sure if it's the cold that I added to it or the soup itself, but it's fine. Good. Here's how you get the bread. It's a steamed bread. So this young man came in and he moved the wok off of here, put the cover over, and then moved the wok over there. I can't see him, and I think he's late, but what the hell, he may be dinner soon. As the fog now increases, my last view of this interesting little town. Up and away. When you're at the top of the village, which is about right here, you'll see this huge metal container. And I notice there's one opposite for trash. But that'll be your signal that if you go straight along that road there, you'll get to Mr. Lee's, the one whose picture is on the internet. If you go right down this hill, you'll go to the hostel that I was at. Each one of them has a red banner in Chinese above them. But these trees that bear that little red fruit were reaching out into the road and might get damaged, so they've used red cloth to tie them back away from the traffic. Both, I don't know if it's a reverence for the tree or a reverence for the fact that this tree can bear harvest. I've got a pretty good cold today. I'm on my second day of the Z-Pack, so I've had 2 pills yesterday, 1 today, and I've got 3 more to go. That should take care of it. This fruit is already dropped on the ground to be worthless. I took this little trail that went out onto a point just for the fun of it, but here it's interesting, there's a scarecrow. To keep things away, they hope, from the corn, and I'm guessing that it's the plastic bags they hope will do the moving and the shaking. As I almost started to walk blithely over into this area here, I noticed that there were little plants, future trees, I suspect. And I'll return up my trail and hang right down the hill and on my way. Here they maintain the area, raking it up apparently, burning off the excess. Trees heavily laden with these fruit. Here a border alongside the front road of a person's house using rocks that were obviously cut for another purpose. Here a big grinding stone. What was the history of this? You can see here how the next stage will be to finish off these archways and then cut the rooms back into the hill and do the inside with rock or brick. Some pretty flowers. The scale perhaps used by a vendor that shows up once in a while at this intersection, and this is an area of the road that's apparently in the past been totally washed out. Fog clearing off as we approach the Yangtze River. This is an eggplant plant, but I noticed it first because of the pretty flowers. Okay, either the local people or the government here has installed trees, and what they've done to beautify it with the materials they have at hand is painted a white line on the rocks here in this diamond shaped configuration, but here with the trees in circle. What's interesting is while they start off in a line, sometimes they get the line gets disrupted, like right there. Here the scale may simply be used to measure out either cement when you're making it, or for the locals to bring in their produce. Here a huge chicken coop with a little cart for carrying the attendant offshoot of that process. Local garden. Here an attempt to beautify just this little patch of road. About 8 feet up in the side of the hill, they've created little planter boxes and specifically planted plants that grow wild anyway. On the right side, you may be able to notice that off-gas burning from a natural gas line that's apparently been put in here. They've got the pump installed. They're just finishing off that facility behind the white little building on the left there. And it may be a continued reflection of the infrastructure expansion, including that big highway in the background. This huge pile of dirt looks like it's just being dumped there, either stockpiled and or from a current ongoing project. Heavily overloaded with something. Well, we've got what look like steamers. Up there should be my bridge that crosses this river that I made a photo of on my computer. That flows into the Yangtze. And as I look out there, either the Yangtze is relatively flat, shallow, or it's cranking at a pretty good pace, or both. There's my bridge, and maybe there is my bus. Pretty bridge, looks like it's sheathed in stone though, probably. Well, I found my bus to Lijiashan, so that's good. Someone's worked hard to make this into a pretty little bus stop, really. Including the bridge, mimicking some of the other bridges in China with their array of lions. Probably the name. Looks like a reclining woman. This panel looks like a farmer carrying his plow instrument. And there a horse laden with what looks like a couple of kids in it. Otherwise a pastoral scene. Some elderly Chinese scholars, I suspect, from history. Don't know what the words say. You would think with parasols they're women, but I don't really know. Here may be one musician, maybe two, entertaining a small audience, including a woman with a child. This looks like a farm work scene. And here are drawings of two kinds of mills, wheat mills if you will, grinding stone apparatuses, both of which we've seen. Another wedding ceremony, may be the cars that passed me a few minutes ago. Here a hunter shooting birds, and at the other end of the panel a fisherman. Here a man hoeing while his wife drops seed. Can't see what these folks are doing. Here's some workmen hollowing out one of the local caves. And they've done a beautiful job of planting a decorative area to the far side of the bus stop area. These are a couple of flowers that were very large on what I think are squash plants. First men I've seen smoking a pipe in China.